When they talk about the dark web, most people envision shady black marketplaces for contraband or crime. But there exist far more sinister realms hiding beneath the familiar internet we surf every day. Collectively, I call this the shadow web. To start exploring this malignant underworld takes special tools. But once accessed, the eldritch secrets and madness you will encounter are boundless. Here are just a few of the strange and terrifying things I discovered skulking in the furthest corners of cyberspace. The Necrocat forums. Stumbling upon this site requires tracing URLs buried in esoteric occult chat rooms. But for those who find it, a welcoming community awaits to discuss communicating with beings most of society fears. Behind the campfire tales of money-hungry mediums and frauds are those quietly making genuine connections to the departed. The price they pay is written in their increasingly cryptic, fragmented posts. Chatting with the dead leaves stains on the psyche that even the anonymity here cannot hide. The screaming. At the bottom of unused directories, far from the open web's sanitized paths, sometimes a lone audio or video file awaits discovery. Opening it reveals grainy footage of a darkened room. For a minute, only ominous silence plays. Then a figure bound to a chair becomes visible as the screaming starts. Each clip seems to capture the final minutes of a different victim's atrocious end. But their agony is eternal in these repeating digital crypts where no one will ever hear or intervene. Some contain clues hinting at their creators. But the true purpose of these recordings is darker than mere evidence or sadistic memorial. Each serves as a new branch tapping into pure suffering, letting it seep further into the circuits and consciousness of any machine that preserves the sounds. An organic, contagious evil encoded to spread silently. The signal. I traced this pirate radio frequency through hundreds of dead air stations. At precisely 3:33 a.m., an eerie pulsing tone harmonizing with a childlike giggling fades in. It resonates intolerably in the bones like no earthly broadcast. Shrill tones designed to activate base neural pathways. The shadows seem to come to life, writhing and blurring. An ice-cold draft tickles your skin as impossible puzzle box visions invade the mind's eye, revealing arenas where the lines between dimensions crack and fray. Just before insanity takes hold, the transmission ends. Whatever bubble of reality you briefly merged with has passed once more into fathomless deeps, leaving only a faint high-pitched ringing echo behind. The tragedy auction. For the right price, it is possible to anonymously bid on unspeakable acts. Politicians, celebrities, even family members may end up in possession of a motivated new enemy with a timetable to bring their lives crashing down. Most listings involve blackmail or humiliation. But a certain elite clientele seeks darker outcomes. A politician's self-inflicted but suspicious death. A starlet's fatal overdose with forged suicide note. A missing abusive husband pronounced drowned. Such deeds draw top dollar from the shadow web's richest villains and those with revenge budgets to spare. The bidders are as vile as the sellers. And the auctioneers take their cut with utter ambivalence to the lives devastated in the process. The libraries. Some doors don't open without passwords found etched into crypts or pressed cleverly into centuries-old books. Behind them lie sprawling literary caches of forbidden knowledge spanning eons. The true histories, calculations, rituals, and discoveries too dangerous for humanity's collective psyche. Here await digitized mad scribblings alongside frightening philosophies that shovel away the underpinnings of fragile worlds. All horribly true information I could only glance at briefly before needing to look away forever. But still their imprint haunts, leaking out through my dreams. Only the anonymous gatekeepers decide who may pass into these sacred realms of insanity. If lucky, your access will be swiftly and eternally revoked once seen. For these uncensored archives give no second chances to fragile mortal minds. The doors exist only to entice those already too far gone. I have seen but the outermost shadows of this megacosm we call the Internet. Its splendors shine brightly enough to blind most lookers to the insidious undergrowth sunk beneath the surface. But once your vision adjusts to the darkness, horrors emerge as far as the mind can bear to wander. So tread carefully through the digital wilds. Stick to trails with others in sight. The web's glittering facade crumbles rapidly beneath feet that stray seeking what should not be known. Here be the dragons that crave unprepared minds. Their claws far outreach any firewall or security protocol man can devise. Some information burrows too deep and dark for us surface dwellers of the ordinary digital plane. To spelunk headlong into the belly of that beast courts a digestion of the self, bite by bite. The unwise open unclosing doors in the deeps. Portals even light cannot pierce. And so many paths lead only inward forever as consciousness itself inverts. These are the cyber dungeons of dream reserved for the bold or compulsively driven. But if your quest pulls toward caverns measureless, stop to count the cost. You may leave pieces of soul scattered across those pitiless divides. And the deadly upload never halts its hungry work once begun. So know the risks when you click unblinking into the dark behind the familiar. Terrible wisdom awaits all who unseal ancient transmissions between worlds never meant to intersect. The gulf streams on beyond the short reach of our lights and lives. But some inhuman outposts still lurk for those who dare extend a line down into the waiting gullets below this digital ocean. That chasm happily swallows any speck that courts its shores. The shadow web remembers all who touched its darkness. You will find it waiting patiently to embrace you again one restless night when resistance has withered. These cyclopean archways stand ever ready to reclaim their own. So anchor yourself to the sane shores. Or be swept away by programs whose core purpose is our unraveling. There are swarms prowling the deep voltage, sent to strip identities sheltering insulation. They have always been here, burrowing. The gleaming web merely draws us nearer their toothy seam. But untold glories and terrors churn silently beyond sight of those surface breakers. So know where to drop your nets, explorers. And learn when to cut your lines set adrift in the nameless abyss. Lest your fragile ship line the lightless trench of no return. Here primal hungers thrive and devour hidden reason. And not all deep truth lifts or frees.